Syrian Civil War, a bloody battle that started with a disagreement between al-Assad and local rebels. This war has caused significant damages to Syrian society. There have been well over 50,000 recorded deaths as a direct result of this conflict. Innocent bystanders cower in fear and flee as mortars and stray bullets threaten to cause them serious harm. Those who flee become known as refugees. There have been well over 600,000 registered refugees that fled the war-torn country. Lebanon has taken the hardest hit of all the countries that are offering shelter to those who are running.
The Syrian Civil War began in March 2011. It was a rebellion against the Syrian government because many Syrian people thought the government was corrupt and very unfair to the people. Many Syrians, however, didn't want to be involved in this war, so many refugees, as they were called, fled to Lebanon. Because many Syrian refugees are fleeing to Lebanon, the Syrian Civil War is actually bleeding into Lebanon as well. And because many Syrian refugees are fleeing to Lebanon, the Lebanon people are also forced to choose between sides, whether to fight for the Syrian government or with the rebels against the Syrian government.
The crisis in Syria has been called by many humanitarian aid groups the world's fastest deteriorating humanitarian crisis. In early 2011, when the Syrian crisis first began, Lebanon was really eager to help out the Syrian refugees who were recently fleeing their country. Some people were even waiting at the Syrian-Lebanon border in order to speed up their flight from the violence. 2 years later, however, and the tension between the hosts and the refugees are beginning to build up. At the moment, more than 250,000 Syrian refugees are registered in Lebanon. 60% of these Syrian refugees are renting their own homes. Unfortunately, though, this has brought about a depletion of supplies, an increase of competition for jobs, and an increase in house rent costs. The population in some villages in which the Syrian refugees are staying has even doubled due to the influx of refugees. Crime rates involving Syrians in Lebanon has increased, with both Syrians being aggressors and victims. Right now, Lebanon currently holds 811,000 Syrian people. This is also including the refugees. Alongside that is another 450,000 Palestinian refugees. This guest population of well over 1.2 million is equal to about 1/4 of Lebanon's total population.
The Human Rights Watch has been urging Lebanon to protect Syrian refugees. Though these warnings, Lebanon has failed to enact any political reforms to get rid of human rights abuses, promote women's rights, and protect migrants and refugees as the country deals with overflowing effects from the civil war in their neighboring country of Syria. Nearly 100,000 Syrians have registered with the UN Refugee Agency in Lebanon.
Many unfortunate events in the Syrian civil war include the turning of family members into soldiers. One example would be a mother who did not want to lose her nor her children's life, and in exchange for being able to live, she became a sniper in the civil war.
World Vision has began handing out food vouchers to more than 30,000 refugees in Lebanon. About 5,900 families have received hygiene kits, blankets, clothes, and other household items. More than 1,000 people received cooking stoves and fuel for 3 months. Child-friendly areas have also been set up to give children a safe place to learn and have fun. $1 billion have been collected by international donors to help the countries that are taking in Syrian refugees. Another $500 million have been allocated to helping Syrians who are still trapped in their own country. The Syrian refugees' living conditions are not exactly promising. Many humanitarian groups still complain that the conditions aren't suitable for refugees. Some Syrians even dislike the conditions. One refugee in a place in Arsal said that living under the shelling was better than living in Lebanon. They said that they all sleep huddled next to one another but are not warm, and they do not have the things that are necessary for their survival. Winter looms overhead, and the conditions for their survival may just not be met.
Lebanon already faces many problems within its own boundaries. The mass influx of refugees has led to more political, economic, and judicial problems in Lebanon. The depletion of resources, increase of violence, and task of registering the thousands of refugees has left Lebanon in a state of need. Many times, Lebanon has requested aid from the UN, which has been provided on many cases. As the Syrian civil war continues to progress, Lebanon's state of need continues to grow worse and worse. However, there is hope. The war will hopefully soon come to an end, and Lebanon may just be able to recover from their crisis.